Today, I want to talk to you about a sensitive topic, one of those that men rarely mention out loud, but that they carry in silence with a certain concern, especially after turning 55 or 65 years old. It is about the feeling that the penis might be decreasing in size. Yes, this can really happen, and you would not imagine the number of patients who come to see me feeling insecure, confused, and even embarrassed by what they are experiencing. But the first thing I want you to know is that there is no reason to feel ashamed. This is a common medical matter, and you deserve to receive clear, honest, and direct information. Did you know that with age it is possible for the penis to reduce in size? Although it may be uncomfortable to think about, it is essential to understand why this happens. The human body undergoes inevitable changes over time, and one of the most affected areas is blood circulation, something that directly impacts the tissues of the penis. If you think about it, the penis works in a similar way to a muscle. It needs constant activity to remain strong, active, and functional. When erections become less frequent or less firm, the tissue begins to weaken, loses elasticity, becomes less sensitive, and can gradually atrophy. It is not just the passage of time. There are concrete causes that accelerate or worsen this situation, and it is essential to know them in order to prevent it or even reverse it. One of the most common reasons is erectile dysfunction. When a man stops having full and vigorous erections for a long period of time, his penis stops receiving the necessary stimulation. Imagine a musical instrument stored for years without being played. The strings rust, the sound disappears. Something similar happens here. The tissues require movement, expansion, and contraction. Without that, they lose vitality. And it is not only that. Certain health conditions also contribute silently. Chronic illnesses such as diabetes or cardiovascular problems severely affect microcirculation. The penis, having very small blood vessels, is one of the first places where decreased blood flow is noticed. Diabetes, for example, subtly damages these vessels, preventing enough blood and oxygen from reaching the area. Without blood, the tissues cannot remain healthy. When this vital supply decreases, the tissues weaken, stop responding the same way, and this can be reflected both in function and in size. And there is more. Another very common factor is obesity. Excess fat in the abdomen and pubic area can make the penis appear smaller, when in reality it is partially covered by that layer of fat. It is not only a visual effect because obesity also alters circulation, worsening the situation. Additionally, there are surgical interventions that can leave lasting effects. Prostate removal, for example, often causes structural changes. It is not unusual for patients to notice a slight shortening of the penis after surgery. This happens because during the procedure scar tissue forms, which can alter the apparent length of the organ and, in some cases, even affect its functionality. All of these are real, documented causes, observed in many men who, upon reaching a certain age, face these concerns. But I want you to be very clear about something. This does not mean that all is lost. There are still ways to identify changes in time and to take action about them. That is why, in the next section, I want you to pay very close attention because we are going to talk about how to recognize if this is happening to you and, even more importantly, what you can do to stop it from progressing. You may wonder how to know for certain if your penis has actually decreased. Many men notice a visual difference. They feel that something has changed, but they do not know how to check it properly. This is where doubts, concern, and mistakes arise. Even when trying to measure it, many do so incorrectly, which only increases anxiety. To get an accurate measurement, it is necessary to do it with the penis fully erect. Take a ruler or a measuring tape and place it along the top of the penis, pressing gently against the pubic bone, that bone right above the base. From there, measure to the tip of the glans. This is the most reliable way to record the size. If you're not erect, another option is to take the flaccid penis, stretch it gently until you feel it cannot stretch any further, and then measure from the same starting point. Generally, the length obtained by stretching the penis at rest is very similar to what is measured during an erection. Comparing these measurements with previous records allows you to clearly notice if there has been any reduction. It is also essential to observe if the firmness of your erections has changed, if they are no longer as solid as before, or if visually it seems that the size is smaller. These details, although subtle, provide important clues. And if you do perceive a decrease, the essential thing is not to panic. The most important thing is to understand what is causing it, as we have already mentioned. Now that you know how to identify it clearly, it is time to talk about what can really make a difference. Practical strategies that you can start applying today to prevent or even reverse this process. The first and most crucial step is to improve blood circulation, because the health of the penis depends largely on blood flowing properly. To achieve this, there are concrete actions you can take. The first is to move your body. You do not need to run marathons. Walking daily, riding a bike, swimming, or performing any light but consistent exercise can have a huge impact. Try to stay active for at least 30 minutes a day, 4 to 5 times a week. The second action is to pay attention to your diet. A diet poor in nutrients and loaded with fats, sugars, or ultra-processed foods is a direct enemy of your circulation. That is why you should start reducing fried foods, processed meats, industrial sweets, and alcoholic beverages. Instead, prioritize fresh vegetables, a variety of fruits, legumes, whole grains, and lean proteins such as fish or chicken. These foods help keep your arteries clean, facilitating blood flow throughout the body, including the genital area. The second crucial point, and no less important, is to strictly control any chronic illnesses. If you have diabetes or high blood pressure, it is vital to keep them under control. It is not enough to take medication occasionally. You must follow the treatment to the letter, undergo regular checkups, and maintain open communication with your doctor. If these conditions get out of control, the first to suffer are your blood vessels, and this will inevitably affect your sexual life. The third fundamental pillar is maintaining an active and healthy sexual life. This may seem obvious, but over time many men neglect this aspect. It is not only about having sexual intercourse with a partner. There are also healthy ways to keep the penis active on your own. Masturbation performed with moderation and awareness stimulates the tissues, improves circulation, and maintains erectile functionality. In addition, there are devices designed for this purpose, such as the penile vacuum pump. This device helps improve local blood flow, but it is crucial to emphasize something important. Do not use it without first consulting a professional. Incorrect or unsupervised use can cause irreversible damage. If you have doubts or curiosity about these types of tools, speak with your urologist. He can guide you safely. The fourth essential step is to address directly any signs of erectile dysfunction. If you notice that your erections are weaker, appear less frequently, or do not last as they used to, do not ignore it. Nor should you let shame prevent you from seeking help. Every day, thousands of men face this problem in silence, when in reality there are multiple effective, safe, and discreet treatments available, from specific medications to hormone therapies prescribed by specialists, including technologies such as low-intensity shock waves, which stimulate the regeneration of blood vessels in the penis. These treatments can not only restore your erectile capacity, but also help you regain part of the size lost over time, reactivating tissue elasticity. Before continuing, I want to emphasize something vital. No advice can replace a consultation with a specialist. If you have any doubts, seek professional guidance. A urologist or an andrologist has the knowledge and experience to guide you responsibly and carefully, adapting solutions to your particular situation. Every body is different, and what works for one person may not always be ideal for another. Now that you have the tools to identify whether a decrease has truly occurred, understand the most frequent causes, and know the initial actions you can take, it is time to go deeper. Let us explore together practical, effective, and realistic solutions that you can start implementing today. Because even though this challenge may seem complicated, you do not have to face it alone. There are real ways to improve, regain your confidence, and feel whole again, as long as you decide to take action and seek the appropriate support. I want to present a detailed, simple, and effective plan, designed step by step to help you preserve the health of your penis and strengthen your sexual well-being in a comprehensive way. This method does not require anything complicated, only commitment and consistency. We begin with the first step, improving circulation in the genital region. Good circulation is, without exaggeration, the most important pillar for preserving the size and vitality of the penis over the years. The better the blood flows to this area, the greater your chances of maintaining not only firmness, but also the natural dimensions of your organ. To achieve this, you can start with something very simple, walking 30 minutes a day. It does not need to be at a fast pace. What matters is consistency. This daily movement stimulates overall blood flow and, in particular, blood flow to the pelvic area. In addition, you can complement it with gentle exercises such as light squats and stretching. These movements activate key muscles, including the pelvic muscles, which are essential for blood flow to the genital area. The second step has to do with nutrition. Some foods are true allies of your circulation. For example, beets and watermelon, which contain natural compounds that stimulate the production of nitric oxide, a molecule fundamental for dilating blood vessels and improving blood flow. You can also incorporate nuts such as walnuts and almonds, full of healthy fats that protect the arteries. Do not forget fish rich in omega-3, such as sardines or salmon, which help keep blood vessels flexible and healthy. On the other hand, it is crucial to avoid what harms them: excessive sugar, processed sweets, saturated fats, industrial fried foods, excessive alcohol, and tobacco. Each of these factors hinders your circulation and directly affects your intimate health. The third step is to reduce excess weight. If you accumulate fat in the abdomen, losing it not only improves your overall health, but also makes the penis appear longer, as it is no longer partially covered by that layer of fat. Less fat in the pubic area means greater visibility and better functionality. To achieve this, it is ideal to maintain a balanced diet. And if possible, consult a nutritionist for personalized guidance. In addition, do aerobic exercises such as walking, swimming, or cycling. Consistency is key to achieving results. The fourth step is to debunk a dangerous myth. Believing that if you do not have frequent sexual activity, it does not matter is a mistake. The penis, like any other tissue, requires regular stimulation. If it is not used, it weakens. That is why, even if you do not have a partner, it is important to keep it active. Healthy and moderate masturbation is highly recommended as it helps preserve elasticity and circulation. With proper guidance, you can also make use of devices such as penile pumps that improve local blood flow. The fifth step is to address erectile dysfunction. Ignoring this problem can have serious consequences, including a real reduction in penis size. If you notice that your erections are weaker, less frequent, or shorter lasting, do not ignore it. The sooner you seek medical help, the easier it will be to reverse the situation. Today, there are multiple safe and effective therapies available, from medications and shockwave treatments to laser therapy or even hormone replacement when indicated. The sixth step consists of undergoing regular medical checkups. Visiting a urologist regularly, especially after the age of 50, can make a big difference. Undergo checkups such as penile Doppler ultrasounds, hormonal analyses, and other exams that allow any alterations in penis function and circulation to be detected early. Prevention is always more effective than correction. The seventh and final step is to take care of your emotional health. Many men do not realize how much their mental state affects their sexual life. Anxiety, stress, sadness, or low self-esteem can deeply impact your performance and personal perception. Talking about your concerns with someone you trust or with a professional can relieve burdens you have carried for years. In addition, find ways to relax, meditate, practice yoga, or find a hobby that brings you joy. And now I want you to pay attention to something fundamental. If you are going through this, you are not alone. Thousands of men feel the same way you do, and many have achieved positive results by deciding to seek help and following the correct recommendations. Your self-esteem, confidence, and well-being do not depend solely on the size of your penis, but that does not mean you cannot care for that part of your health with dignity and commitment. If you have made it this far, I sincerely thank you for your trust. Share this information with someone who might need it. Leave your comments with questions or experiences, and above all, take care of yourself, because the most valuable thing you have is your health, and you deserve to live fully in every stage of your life.